Okay. Um, yeah, there is a button that says I can pause the recording, so we can do that when it's time to let the rest of these people in. And I imagine this should be pretty quick. The description, maybe you get to try and kick Lish if you want. I don't know. That's up to you. um, but here we go. Let's get this rolling. As you put your head through the portal, it feels freezing cold, like you've stuck your face into icy water. You reflexively try to hold your breath, but as you lean forward, getting maybe about shoulders deep, it's like the air is pressed from your lungs, forcing you to breathe. You can still feel the arms of Lish and Lee beyond you, making sure you don't get too deep as you find yourself breaking the surface again. The first thing that you see is dirt, gray and pallor, and doesn't look particularly healthy. Craning your neck, you can't see much, so you kind of gently wiggle your way forward as much as you can. Um, Maybe poking with your foot gently a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
um, just to let your friends know that you're okay and you're doing this on purpose and you're not like being grabbed and taken by
Dragged
whatever.
in.
Yeah.
Ow! Oh my god. Hold on.
You good? You're muted.
Sorry about that. Bo just had to go into timeout jail. Uh
Oh,
he is a very bad boy and knows that he is a very bad boy. So
that's okay. I know the
just
feeling.
let me just set his timeout alarm. All right.
Okay. So you twist around a bit, still feeling Lish and Levy holding you. Levy hugging you around the waist, and Lish holding onto your wrists to make sure you don't fall in. It's at this point that you realize you're at the bottom of a hole.
Great. Great, 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 great. Um,
The
hmm.
temperature has not gotten any warmer, and as like you exhale, you can see your breath.
Cool. Um, is it is it possible to get out of the hole without leaving my friends behind?
No.
Oh boy.
You can roll a perception check if you want to try and see what you can see outside of the hole.
Yeah, sure, let's do that. That is a 17.
Okay. So, one of the most obvious things near the edge of the hole, you can see a jagged stone. In itself is broken and blackened, and you can see it's surrounded by little sprouts of dead gray grass. Um, you, since you got a 17, you kind of like squint at it, and you can see that it probably once had text on it, but it's so worn at this point, it's practically impossible to read.
Oh, it's like a gravestone.
Maybe. Um,
Hmm.
you look up past the stone, and you can see the gnarled, twisted branches of a blackened, deadened tree. The sky itself, too, is black and shadowed, uh, like it's perpetually amidst a distant forest fire. And where you can see the gray in the sky, you can see roiling thunder clouds with flashes of lightning. Everything around you seems to be gray and dark, except for the puddle you're emerging from, which seems to be turquoise.
Okay. That's odd. Don't like that. Um, so from my memory, um, does this area that I'm in with the tree and the stone, does it look kind of like the graveyard that I just came from, or is it like, is there no trees around it, the graveyard on the other side?
Roll an intelligence check.
Oh boy, I'm so good at those. Oh, that's a dirty 20 actually. I'm okay.
It looks pretty similar to the graveyard you just left from. And kind of looking up at the tree, you can see a flying creature land in it. The tree branches bend to support its weight, but it's almost like a moving shadow above you. Wherever light would hit, and potentially to give you some sense of structure, it's just an absence. It's almost like a flying shadow. You can see glimpses of some sort of physical form in there, but it's like weirdly blurry. It's almost like it's phasing between physical matter and dream. You're not sure what it's made from, but you can see what seems to be like an elongated neck and some sort of snapping jaw at the end, and two bright greenish yellow glowing beacon-like eyes on the front of its face. Its wings don't have skin or flesh, it's just dark smoke. The greenish yellow glow, however, is pointed towards you. It's not doing anything, it just seems to be watching.
Horrifying. Okay. I don't like that. It doesn't, oh man. Can I grab a handful of dirt?
Yeah. Well, okay. Actually, no, you can't because Lish is holding your wrists. Grab a mouthful of dirt.
No, I'm not that kind of smart. Cool. One last question before I probably as slowly as possible go back into the pond. Does the greenish glow remind me of Levy's magic?
Roll an Arcana check.
Okay. Ooh. Like an Arcana check. Oh, that's a 8.
I mean, things sometimes just glow. That's how it is.
Cool. Yeah, Tamira's just going to like try and like slowly sink back into the pond.
Okay, cool. And with that, I will pause the recording and let everyone else. Okay. Last we left off, you guys explored more of the so-called Tragedy House, previously known as the Tri-Sea Manor. And there was something kind of bothering you about the graveyard, with a strong sense of conjuration magic underneath one of the graves, which seems to have been freshly churned. You guys return to the graveyard. At this point, the clouds overhead, which have been threatening rain all day, finally deciding to actually rain. You guys start to dig up the grave of Adarin Tri-Sea. At the bottom of this grave, you were able to find what seemed to be an odd pool of water, except that the water itself was black. And Damir decided to stick her face in it. Lish and Levy held on to her to make sure that she would be okay. And as she sticks her face in it, she leans far enough at first to get her shoulders in, and she kind of pokes you both a little bit with her feet, a bit, just to show that her moving forward is on purpose. And she seems to shift and move a little bit while in this oddly deep, apparently, puddle. Lish, at one point, she tugs at one of her wrists just a little bit, but you're holding on pretty tight. And then she very slowly retreats.
Yeah, Tamir is just going to sit up from the puddle and start grabbing some dirt and pushing it on top of the puddle again, like.
What is inside?
You know, hopefully it won't come out.
Is it more water?
No. There is it looks a lot like this place, only creepier, if that was possible. Very creepy. And I'm just slowly piling more dirt on top of the water.
Lish wants to put his face in the water.
Levy also wants to put her face in the water.
Okay.
Lish to Toby, like, here, hold my hand here. I'm gonna just dunk my head.
Tobias is like, I don't know
wait.
about this, but he'll hold Lish's hand.
There's something over there.
Like what? You didn't say anything.
It was watching me.
You don't tell us what's there, we're gonna have to look for ourselves.
I'm going to look for myself.
Shadow bird thing.
A shadow bird thing.
I don't know what it was exactly, but
Can I do an Arcana check to see if I know what the fuck a shadow bird thing is?
Yeah.
An Arcana
it was
check.
big and glowing eyes and
Can I
Demir.
roll to
Snapping beak.
see what like this portal might be going to? A creepy place that mirrors our own? Does that sound familiar?
Okay.
I got a 7.
Okay. So, Levy, you can think of any number of things a shadow bird could be. You can think of like there's a thing called a periton that looks like a cross between a eagle and a stag. There's things actually called shadow birds that are like undead birds. There is like rocks, which are like demon birds. You don't know. This could be any number of things. Demir's being really big. Lish, what did you roll?
Am I rolling Arcana to figure out what kind of plane this is?
Yeah.
Ha! 7.
Once again, could be any number of things. You would probably need to see it yourself.
Yeah, probably.
it was looking at me. It had creepy glowing eyes. I could draw it for you.
Demir, you said that when you looked on the other side that it was a mirror of this place.
Yes.
Would you be able to point out where that bird was sitting in relation to this place? Like, was it in the tree? And like Tobias points to the tree in the center. Was it over on one of the mausoleums, or like?
It was on the tree. I'm going to point towards where the bird had been.
So
in
for
the tree.
those of you on Roll20, I'm pinging whereabouts the creature was on the tree.
Okay, I'm just gonna mark that with a little circle.
Yeah.
I'll mark it with yellow, so it's easy
Yeah,
to
and
see.
this is the grave you guys are all surrounding.
Okay, I will mark that with green. And when you peered into the grave, were you looking out of a puddle from that same grave? Like, were you seeing it from, like, when you put your head in, if this is a mirror, was the grave hollowed out
Yes,
and you were peering up out of it at the bird?
yes, I was.
Demir, were we there?
No, I was alone.
Okay.
It was like here, only creepier and darker. There was like a sky was black. It was a gravestone, but it was darker. Like I said, creepier. I don't think that it's a great place to be.
Can I make another Arcana check? I actually forgot to factor in the fucking
Is it
intelligence.
cloak or the
headband.
boots?
I'll tell you what, sure, since Demir gave more information.
Levy, can I borrow your sketchbook?
Levy will hand it to her.
I am going to try and draw that bird.
Okay. Roll a performance check.
Okay.
Much
I'm a
better, it's
bard.
worth 5.
Hold on. Too many
What is
people
this?
were speaking at once.
Sorry.
I am a bard without a performance proficiency. That 11.
11. It looks kind of like a black smear with a couple of glowies. What you drew.
Black sphere with glowies.
Smear.
Oh, hang on. I have minor illusion.
Oh, hell
Is
yeah.
drawing.
It'll be
and
the
gets,
chalk drawing
really,
contest all over again.
really frustrated and realizes that like this isn't getting across what she wants.
Levy's
and
going
then,
to take her sketchbook back.
and then she's going to try casting minor illusion, and recreating the bird a little bit better.
Okay. So, minor illusion, what you guys see is essentially it looks sort of like a blurry shadow. With there's something of an elongated neck and then greenish yellow glowing beacons the front of its face. There are wings, but it doesn't have skin or flesh, and it's just smoke.
Well, smoke wisp.
And then, Levy, what did you get for your second attempt?
Jesus. That's a 25.
25. And you're trying to make guesses about what
Kind of where Demir was looking into?
Here, let me send you whispers. While the rest of you can react to Demir's minor illusion.
She's flipping through her notebook now, just like, wait a fucking second, I swear to God. I know what the fuck.
So the bird that Demir saw is projecting in the illusion and stuff.
Mhm.
You said that it basically looks like a moving shadow. It has a beak and wings. It's got like lights on its face.
The lights are its eyes.
Okay, and it doesn't have any skin.
Not that you could see.
I think the idea is that it's basically just a bird made of shadows. Or at least visually so.
Yeah, that's what I just wanted.
That is, once again, unlike anything I have ever seen.
Should we perhaps contact Barhasa about this?
Might be a good idea.
Levy's holding up a hand, just like, hey man! she's looking for it, her notes. The DM is trying.
Yeah, I'm typing as fast as I can.
No, yeah, like Tobias should just bring up Barhasa in case of like more assistance or where to go after we hear what Levy has to say.
Lish is still like wanting to put his head in the portal. The
Mir,
bird
is
made
your-
him even more curious to pop his head in.
In fact,
Demir,
while we're waiting, I believe he's going to pause in searching her notes and stick her head in the portal.
Lish wants to do it too.
No!
She's supporting herself. It's just like it's
No,
just her
Samir
thing.
is grabbing both of their wrists.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say Tobias was gonna pull Lish. Because he was holding on to Lish's hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was holding Lish's hands. Daniel, are you trying to stop them from looking in? Or are you trying to just hold them like they were holding you?
I think it would be a little hypocritical for her to stop them. She'll just hold them to hold them like they were holding her.
Lish is just looking to go in, look, get out. He's not trying to really linger and
So, for both of you, it feels freezing cold. And much like Demir, you guys both try to hold your breaths, just mostly out of a reflex. But as you lean forward, the air is actually pressed from your lungs, and you can see your breath in front of you. Mostly what you guys can see is dirt. It's gray, doesn't look really all that healthy. And you kind of like crane your neck, and you can see branches above you. Just like Demir described, you seem to be at the bottom of a grave. There is a worn stone next to it, but it looks so old that you can't read it anymore if it had any text. And it's broken and blackened, and there's little tufts of dead gray grass. And beyond that, you can see the gnarled, twisted branches of a blackened, deadened tree, but no bird thing like Demir was describing. And the sky itself is black and shadowed, it's kind of smoky, as if there's a forest fire in the distance, and every now and then you can see roiling thunder clouds with little flashes of lightning in them. Everything around you is gray and dark, except for the puddle you guys are in, which is turquoise.
Yeah, Levy's gonna come back out and she's gonna try and pull Lish out. Like immediately. And like with one hand, try and pull Lish out, and then with the other hand, she is resuming Demir's work of putting dirt over the portal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Demir,
Demir
is your
is-
projection to scale?
Minor illusion, so it's like in the palm of her hand.
No.
How big
No, it's
was
not.
it?
Much bigger.
Like he sort of like starts moving his hand like up and down near the top of his head. Taller, shorter?
Demir will hold her
Um.
her arms out to indicate if I can.
Yeah, you estimate it's maybe about 20 feet wingtip to wingtip
Oh,
if it were
um,
to spread.
yeah. Maybe from there to there.
Indicating the 20 feet.
Oh
It was-
god.
Very big.
And she is pulling Lish as well.
Yeah, Lish kind of resists coming up too fast, but he'll pull back.
Levy is actually very insistently pushing Lish away from the edge of the portal now.
Yeah, like he'll come up. Like he's
No, like
not-
when he comes up, she's
Oh.
like got a hand on his chest and
You
she's
help him
shoving him
climb out
away.
of the grave.
And in fact, Levy is also shoving Demir away.
Lish is just like, all right.
Here,
Tobias
here.
will kind of make sure all three of them are away, and he's gonna use the shovel to start putting dirt back over the puddle.
Levy is flipping through her notebook again, and she seems to find what she's looking for, and she doesn't look very happy. In fact, she looks kind of spooked by her best guess but the best guess is she's actually still trying to nudge them like as far away as possible from the fucking portal, like specifically Demir and Lish.
Levy, do you know what this is?
I have a guess, and well, I have two guesses, but the one that's more likely is really bad for you two specifically, and I really don't like it. Mm-mm.
After seeing
Demir will
the
help
thing,
shovel dirt on top of the portal.
No,
after seeing the thing, Avery, do I know what that was?
Seeing the plane, because by the time that you and Levy looked in there, the bird thing had flew away.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Levy
You
wanted
don't
to
know.
figure
You
out
can
more.
see it from the perspective of inside the grave.
But I saw Demir's minor illusion. Would I know anything about that?
Well, you can roll an Arcana check with disadvantage.
But yeah, Levy's actually still very much trying to crowd Demir the fuck away from the portal. Specifically, just
stop. No. Don't get too close. I don't like that.
I rolled a 2 and a 3, so
You have no idea.
well, it's a 6 with my +4.
Yeah. No, you're not. You don't know.
Boo.
could Levy have a better guess now herself? Because she's obviously studied shit and seen the minor illusion and seen the plane and has guesses. Would she have a better guess?
Yes. Roll an Arcana check.
Dope. By our powers combined, Levy and Lish will figure out what the fuck. Dirty 20.
So, this creature is called a Gloomstalker. They are native to the plane that you were more leaning towards in your guess. They're not very friendly. And it seems very odd that this one would leave Demir alone.
Yeah. No, the more that she thinks about it, the paler Levy seems to get.
What is
Evie-
it that you learned?
Well, it's quite lucky that Demir and Lish did not get their faces eaten off.
What specifically did you learn?
That was probably the Shadowfell. And that thing, the big bird, that thing wasn't friendly at all.
Less of a bird, more like a wyvern.
And it's not a bird. It's worse, a lot worse.
Neither of you two, and she's going to point like aggressively, even though she's like kind of shaking.
You two aren't allowed to go near that.
Why them
It's
specifically?
like,
We need specifics. None of this crypticness. We need direct answers.
The Shadowfell is like the Feywild, but really, really, really bad.
Okay.
it's like the Feywild. If the Feywild was all evil and shadow and
And seeing as you're Fae, she's going to point to Lish, and you're his warlock. We're not doing this because that place will eat you, and I'm not having that. None of us are having that.
But I know that things from the Shadowfell are especially aggressive towards things from the area.
She's just assuming.
They're not necessarily particularly aggressive towards fairies.
But they would
It's-
probably have an interest.
How best to describe it? So if the material plane is at the center of everything, the Feywild and the Shadowfell surround the material plane in a way. But if the Feywild is made of positive energy, positive magic, the Shadowfell is made of negative energy. It's it's essentially like a plane where there's a focus on darkness and power over light and whimsy, amusement that the Feywild has. It's
The whimsy.
Yeah, for lack of a better descriptor.
They want to destroy Christmas. I get it.
It's sometimes considered a parallel plane or like an echo of the material plane. And it everything about it is dark. It's dark and dangerous, and it's not a very happy place. And sometimes travelers who've gone there unprepared have been known to return, but somewhat different, more paranoid, which it's not. It's very common for travelers to other planes to. It's common for them to have been affected by the plane in some way. So that in of itself isn't terrible, but you're more curious about why this portal is here.
Yeah, it's very strange. like, would there be like certain practitioners on the prime material plane that, like, is there like any like cults of this realm or people who
Not
would be attracted to it?
particularly. You do know that there are places in the material plane called shadow crossings, where perhaps the shadows in a corner are a little darker than they should be, or there's a basement or a door where the light just isn't hitting it right, and allowing for unwary travelers to mistakenly stumble into the Shadowfell. But this is different. This is an actual portal. There are Fey crossings too, like for when you get lost in the woods, or you find a couple of branches creating an archway of trees, or sometimes fairy rings. Shadow crossings are sort of like that, but for the Shadowfell.
Right.
This is an actual portal. It's annoying you.
Yeah, which is a lot. Is it possible for me to help bury this thing with plant growth?
If Levy lets you get close.
Well, I don't need to get close. I just can
Oh,
cast
so.
plant growth.
You would need to fill up the grave again. You guys just started kind of covering it with dirt. You would need to climb out of the grave and use the shovel to cover it up.
Oh yeah, I mean, Lish
They already climbed out of the grave.
Yeah, Lish has
and
climbed
Tobias has
out.
been
Okay.
shoveling dirt back over it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Hawk's probably been helping while trying to listen, probably half failing.
Yeah, while Lish is having his Slumdog Millionaire style flashbacks, everybody's been filling this hole in.
So what did I miss
all right.
in the brief 2 minutes that I stepped away?
Basically, Lish is very annoyed that this is an actual portal and not just a simple crossing. Like
Okay.
Avery brought up, like specifically, like, you know, fairy rings and the like for passage in the Feywild. There's like 2 dark corners for the Shadowfell, but this is like legitimately a portal.
It's very powerful rather than coincidental. It's specific and designed.
And very, very not good in terms of implications.
The fact that it's at the bottom of a grave really speaks to a certain type of character.
It makes you wonder what happened to Adarine. Did her corpse become the portal? Did it go through the portal?
That's a good question.
I mean, was there any sign of a corpse around the other side?
They couldn't see. They were at the bottom of the grave.
We
They were
haven't
emerging
really-
from a puddle that they stuck their face through.
Mhm.
We haven't really explored the graveyard at all.
How visible was the portal from the other side, would you say? Like, possibly more importantly, did that thingy see you, Demir?
It definitely saw me, and the portal did stand out, given that it was one of the few things that had color on the other side.
Oh, great.
That is why I think we should bury it again.
I would even put something else on top of the grave just to make sure that nothing comes out from the other side. Not just dirt, but like, I don't know, wood, a door, really,
Sand.
really, really thick vegetation. Well, At the very least, I think we found the source of the evil whispers the father was hearing.
Ben has been
Perhaps.
wrestling in his backpack for a few seconds, and he pulls out a bear trap. Like this?
Aaron, I truly appreciate the thought, but I'm not sure if that's going to stop something with wings.
He thinks about that for a moment and continues wrestling around in his backpack. 1 sec, let me double check something.
I mean, theoretically, from what Damir, I wonder if it's safe to assume that, because if that plane is a mirror of this one, if we fill the hole up here, the hole will be filled up in the other plane. So that'll mean that the puddle is covered, so creatures won't see it.
You should try throwing the bear trap through the portal.
I can do that.
I mean, we've
How
got
do
like
you-
50.
How do you think gravity works as it travels through and it just kind of gets stuck,
Well,
kind of going, falling in
Aaron,
and
you'll
out
want to
and
throw
in
it
and
really
out?
Thinking
hard and at an
portals.
angle, so you're going to try to like loop it. You're going to want to try to arc it.
Okay,
so that when
do you
throw it
start
through, it'll go
uncovering the
over.
portal again?
No.
Well, we
Yeah.
did already bury it, so maybe just set it upside down?
Well, if it becomes uncovered again, we'll take your plan.
Well, let's see. Aaron still has the acorn, right?
Oh, the one that makes a tree?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh.
You still
Aaron.
have the acorn.
Perfect. Yep. Aaron's been wrestling in his bag again, and he pulls out the acorn, and says, "How about this?"
What does that do again? We remember, Hawk doesn't.
Mhm. I believe it'll grow in an entire tree.
Do
I would be
want to
surprised
grow-
if anything goes past that.
Do we want to grow an entire tree that's roots connect to the Shadowfell? I don't think that would create a
Good tree.
energy.
Okay, good point.
All
But
right.
if it mirrors, wouldn't it just have a tree on the other side?
Yeah, like we might be creating an evil tree, but like if it's
Oh,
over there, do we really care?
well, yeah, that's my point. Wouldn't the evil be on the other side because the tree would mirror?
Do we
I
want to
don't- we don't
find
know how
out?
much- Yeah,
Do
we
we
don't know how
want
much
to
gets
quickly
out of it.
just
Whispers
Demir, do you
did.
want to give Barhasa a ring, and see if she's available to talk for like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Maybe give us a brief little rundown of what options we've got?
I was going to
Yeah.
suggest if that fails, we should go ask somebody at the college.
That's
That-
fair.
That's a good plan too.
Yeah,
Do-
why don't
do you-
we just rebury this grave and go back inside because it is raining, and I will call Varhasa and see what she thinks.
Sounds like a plan, and I will find Esme and figure out what to tell her.
Okay.
Once we get enough dirt over this portal, Lisha's gonna grow plants over it, and he's gonna actually start growing the plants kind of all over the graveyard area. He's really doesn't like the energy in this place and wants to revitalize it some with positive energy.
These
Alright.
vibes are rancid, saith the druid.
Hmm. As we're walking back in, and says to Hawk, do you think that the whispers were just seeping out of it, or that something was sticking its head out and whispering?
It'd have to stick its head out underneath ground. And honestly, I wouldn't know. I have little to no experience with actual magic. But depending on how long that portal has been there, it's very possible that something that whispers either came through the portal, or maybe you're right and something was trying to enter. All the more
Well,
reason to keep it covered.
yeah, if it did come through, hopefully it's not still around here. And Aaron's just keeping a fucking eye out.
Looking through my notes, I don't think you actually ever identified the acorn.
Oh, did we not?
No, I did with when I rifled through Aaron's stuff and I pulled out a bunch of Aaron's stuff and I did identify that.
I can.
Did you tell me that?
I believe I took notes.
Yeah, I gave it back to you because I took
Okay.
your feather fall leaf, remember?
Yeah.
I put it into, I think, the loot channel. I described it.
Okay.
Let me see.
So
yeah.
it was-
Guess it is fair because I don't
you have
think
the
It was
the
the acorn
canvas
of
bag with
acuity.
seeds. You have the stone token that looks like a feather, and then the pretty cool acorn. The acorn is an acorn of alacrity, which means when you attune to it, it gives you an extra like D8 for initiative.
Oh, okay. So let's just say
Oh,
that
hell yeah.
Aaron
So,
just
yeah.
remembered, oh, it's a magic acorn, and then just logic dictated, oh, it must plant a tree.
I mean, that's pretty directly what the seeds do, at least I think.
Oh wait, no, it allows survival advantage on survival checks. Yeah, that does
Nice.
that's not what it does. I mean, you can try and plant it
The
if you
seeds of
want.
growth create bushes.
Yeah, they're bushes. So I'm just
So
gonna say it was the seeds then.
It does basically the same thing as my plant growth.
Okay.
I think the thing that you were thinking of, Erin, was the feather tree token.
Oh.
But I have that
Yeah.
because I
Okay.
want to save it for when I can do tree travel later.
Fair.
You
We could
that's
probably
gonna be
just
cool.
say that like Aaron remembered Lish had that, and then not only did we have the evil tree conversation, but Lish was also reluctant to use it.
That's fair. Alright.
Okay.
Okay, so Lish, you cast plant growth.
And I'll meditate on it for a while to increase the range.
Okay. Okay.
Demir is a little hesitant to leave Lish in the graveyard, so she's going to wait until he's done.
Okay.
Levy is staying with them as well.
All right. Tobias, you return to the house. You do not see Esme. She's off doing ghost thing.
Can he try looking for her? Like,
Yeah, roll an investigation check.
yes. Alright. Oh, wait. I have the D&D Beyond page, like, bookmarked or whatever on the favorites thing, so I try to open up a new tab on my desktop. It'll be one of the ones that I open up, except the page is bookmarked to is the Blood Hunter class, so every time I go to it, I need to remember to go specifically to Tobias's page. Okay, let's see. Investigation. 19.
All right. You're able to find Esme in the conservatory. She seems to be trying to garden but failing because she can't actually touch anything. Like, you see her kind of grabbing at one of the the plants in one of the dead plants in the pots and trying to like pull it up. And she eventually settles for just kind of pushing over the pot.
Tobias, when he sees her trying to garden, he quietly approaches and seeing what she's trying to do, like, remove the dead plants so new ones can be planted. I assume that's what you said she was doing, was trying to remove some new ones. Yeah. He will help her.
He doesn't have any new plants, but she's like, all right, we got to get started with taking these dead ones out.
Yeah. He'll remove the dead plant for her and say, I don't have any seeds on me now, but Lish is quite talented when it comes to creating plants. Unfortunately, Tobias seems a little saddened that he can't, he's not able to read her lips as well as Lish can. He says, I'm really sorry about this, Esme. When we checked Adderton's grave, she wasn't there. We found something else instead. It's like it was a cut. It looked like a puddle, but in actuality it's some kind of portal to the Shadowfell plane. We don't know why it's there, but we're going to do what we can to close it or make sure nothing can come through it. I'm going to try and find out what happened to Adam's body. I want to make sure that she rests in peace.
She looks very confused, like worried.
Tobias looks at her, like, the expression he has is just one of, like, pained understanding. He's like, I'm so sorry. I wish I knew more. I wish I could give you more answers than what I have. But I will try to find those answers.
And with that, she kind of nods and then drifts back away and disappears.
Tobias will kind of take a moment and stare around the conservatory before deciding to continue working and cleaning up the conservatory. Like removing the dead plants, setting up the pots, all nice.
All right. You hear a crash in the distance in the house.
Is he able to tell if it's on the same floor he is, or like a floor
It is
below?
on the same floor.
Okay. All right. Give me 2 seconds to quickly look up what the map layout of the house is.
I can move the
Which channel was that in again?
this there.
Oh, there it is. Oh, good. It's the fucking first floor.
Is it the bust?
Tobias will go investigating for the sound.
Okay, roll an investigation check.
Okay. Investigation. 14.
You're able to find it, no problem. It looks like Esme pushed the bust of her mother-in-law off of the pedestal in the gallery.
Oh my fucking god.
I just imagine her thought process was
and
like,
it broke.
oh, I just imagine her thought process was like, I'm upset by this revelation. What's this? I don't want to break anything in the house, though.
What's the
right.
least valuable thing we have?
Exactly.
Fucking, I just imagine Esme is just like, oh my god, it's like I just learned that my child's grave is turned into a fucking portal to the Shadow Realm. I'm pissed. But
I don't want to break all this fine china, so I guess this bus will do.
But he's gonna help me guard it. It's like, oh, I'm so mad though. Walks into the gallery, sees the mother-in-law's bus, like, you bitch.
This is your fault somehow.
And God,
like, you brought this
bitch.
negativity into this house.
You invited the demons, mother.
Yeah, when Tobias finds the bus on the ground, he can't help but just kind of laugh a little bit at that. He's like, well played, Esme. Well played. And he'll sweep it up, and
like
make it
cracked
into one
leftovers of the
pile.
bus
Would they
back
hear
on
the
the
crash outside in the fucking graveyard?
No, the graveyard's too far away.
Damn.
Tobias will like sweep it up and have it all be in a pile below where it was initially standing and stuff until he can, have a place to throw it away. But at the very least, Stone's going to walk on a shard somewhere. And then he'll go back and finish preparing the conservatorium for gardening.
Okay. So I know Lish, Demir, and Levy are still in the graveyard. Erin and Hawk, what are you guys doing?
Good question. I was gonna put him back in the house, but maybe probably after Esme stuff happens.
Okay.
Like maybe they just took their time walking or something.
They're
Alright.
walking, but Ren is like pausing every foot and doing a full 360. So it takes them a minute.
Just like,
Alright.
I
I'm not
admire
sure if you need-
Aaron's like dedication to his tasks when he's really going at it. Like his current one of being the watchman and stuff, where he's like, I'm making sure nothing's sneaking up on us, doing the 360, 360. It's like,
And Hawk's
Really?
just walking ahead of him like,
That's certainly
buddy,
trying.
please. I love you as a friend, but we can't keep doing this. It's gonna take us 10 years to get to the house.
has anyone checked to see if Aaron is actually secretly a golden retriever? Have we thought to do that yet?
Golden retriever
Don't think
walking
so.
on 2 feet.
I mean, Hawk is trained in nature. Okay. Well, when Hawk gets back to the house, he'll probably
With or without Erin?
No, he'll wait for Erin. I'm not gonna leave our golden retriever barbarian in the outside alone. Are you kidding? What mischief could he get up to?
He'll start looking around every inch.
Don't leave the puppy unsupervised.
Exactly. Once they're in the house, though, Hawk's gonna see about dusting with prestidigitation.
Okay. Well,
Levy
Levy already
style.
got a good start on that.
Yeah, he might as well just pick up where she left off.
Any particular floor or room?
Good question. I don't think we ever started with the parlor, so I think Hawk would actually go there
Okay.
and probably see the smashed bust and just kind of wonder what happened, but keep going.
All right. For the sake of Felix, who I think was not here when I described the parlor.
Yeah, they weren't here for the whole first floor, unfortunately.
It's a once elegant room with round walls and lots of windows on them that have the potential for letting in a fair amount of sunlight. But there's like shabby gray curtains covering them. There are sheets covering the furniture arranged in front of a fireplace. There's a coffee table with an abandoned game of dragon chess. And there's a cabinet full of glass decanters and wine goblets and a 6-foot-tall gilded harp.
It's
So,
a nice place. She thinks it's fancy and old and run down and needs love. So I think she'd probably do some more like, if she like whenever the rest of them get back to the house, she'd probably just start doing more like tidying sorts of things.
Okay. Yeah, and Lish, as you're casting plant growth, you can see that that the grass around you is becoming more alive. It's green and eventually becoming thick and somewhat overgrown. But you get the process started. Of course, you know that this area will need a lot of love, and it's not going to be something that's going to be fixed overnight. Especially not with like 1/3 level spell. But it's gonna take time.
Samira is kind of standing there wrapped up in her cloak, shivering a little because it's cold and raining.
Yeah.
Just waiting for him to be done.
While they're still out there, since Demir's cold as fuck, Levy will like make her best attempts to periodically prestidigitate them all dry.
All right.
No use in letting everybody catch a cold.
Aww.
Lish is slowly disappearing under very, very tall grass.
Yeah. I was gonna say you guys are gonna have to fight your way back out of the graveyard, just like.
Yeah, it's difficult. It'll be difficult terrain to get out, but.
Aaron, once you're back in the house, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think he's just gonna, go around to try to find everyone. And then when we're convening in it's gonna be like, and he sees the bust, he's gonna be like, oh, yes, that's the end of that.
You don't like try and clean or anything, you just kind of hang out.
Yeah, I don't think he's really doing much.
I don't think anyone told us where the feather dusters were, and they're probably rotten or something by now. So
No, that is fair.
All right. So with that, it sounds like you all eventually make your way back to the house.
Yep. Demir. Oh.
What do you do?
Well, when we get into the foyer, or looking around trying to find where everyone has gone, Demir will go to, let's see. The dining room is where the creepy doll was, huh?
Dining room was where the doll was. Now that I think about it, you guys actually moved the bust over there. Yeah, it's still broken. As may have found the bust wherever it was, wherever you moved it and broke it.
oh right, we moved it from the gallery.
Yeah, the doll is still there. I believe someone fixed it last time, gave her a new button eye.
I think that was Toby.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wise fixed it.
He did the thing. We're proud of him.
Demir is going to go into. She'll go into the kitchen because there's like a big table in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, the table, I believe, was broken because a rack suspended from the ceiling had kind of crashed down, crushing the table.
Is there? Can I try and fix the table using mending?
It would take a lot more than that. It's like broken in half.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. I'll go into the den.
Okay.
Because there were like chairs and stuff. I'm going to sit in the den and I'm going to pull out my crystal ball and I'm going to try and scry on Varhasa.
Okay. Let's see. What would Varhasa be doing now? Let me see if I had something for her. Okay. Okay. Let me roll. Yeah. So a shimmering image of Varhasa appears. She's sitting at a desk, looking over a ledger of some sort. And her giant lunar moth familiar is kind of just fluttering around near her head. You can't really tell what time it is due to the blackout curtains. The moth ends up fluttering down and kind of landing on her nose, kind of causing her to blink and jerk back a little bit. And then it lands on her shoulder, and she kind of chuckles a little bit and says, "You're probably right. I've been at this for too long. I need to focus on other things." And at that point, she kind of wheels herself away from the desk and approaches one of the shelves against the wall. And at this point, you recognize the space as her office. And she casts a quick spell, and a silvery purple hand appears in the air, and it floats along the shelves, kind of pointing as if browsing, and then picks one and flutters back over to Varhasa.
Varhasa?
She kind of pauses and says, "Hello?"
This is Demir of the Wild Roses.
Oh, yes, it's been a little while. How are you?
We are doing okay. I am reaching out to you, seeking some information, if that is okay.
I would be glad to assist. And you can see she's kind of like looking around, not sure where to focus. If I may ask, what manner of spell is this? The usual sending spells do not allow to converse as this.
Well, I found an item that allows me to look in on people and speak to them from time to time.
Oh, well, that can be quite helpful.
Indeed, it has. I hope you don't mind me looking in on you, but this is unusual circumstances, and we don't have a way yet beyond this of communicating over long distances.
I am glad you reached out. I did find something that might intrigue you once you return to Alpius, of course. I don't know what your timetable looks like.
Well, we are hoping to return soon. But on the way, we found a portal to the Shadowfell.
And she looks very concerned at that.
It was at the bottom of the grave. And we were just wondering if you had any way of, or knew any way of, closing it.
And it's a proper portal instead of just a crossing.
Yes, it is a shallow pool of water, and when you stick yourself through it, it brings you to the Shadowfell.
Well, I would proceed with caution, given that it not only sounds like a powerful caster was able to create it, but also they had the means of attempting to disguise it, it sounds like. I would recommend you find a powerful mage who is capable of dispelling this anchor. There is likely to be something that is binding it to this plane for now.
Are you perhaps familiar with any of the images of the the academy in Royas?
I am. I attend events there every now and then. Why do you ask?
We are outside of Royas, but they are more interested in enrolling students than assisting wanderers.
Yes, I'd imagine so.
Do you think you could put a good word in for us?
I do know that the professor of transmutation, Aldrich Idis, he might be willing to help. I can arrange for a message to be sent to him. He is familiar with wanderers, as you put it.
That would be of great assistance.
I will be certain to put in a good word with him. Would you prefer just yourself or the wild roses?
The wild roses.
Very well.
What we are hoping to make our way back to Alpius. Just out of curiosity, do you know anything about a sword named Navarra?
That does not sound familiar to me, unfortunately.
Okay. Let's see what else. You wouldn't happen to have a way of getting to the Feywild?
I have not needed to go to the Feywild personally, so I'm afraid I do not. I do know that there is a shopkeeper in town who is a satyr. I'm not sure if he'd be able to help at all, or if he is in fact native to the prime material plane.
Well, that is very helpful. I don't know quite when we will be returning to Obias, but certainly within the next few months. Time is a little odd for us, so it's a little hard to guarantee.
Imagine so.
It's a little hard to guarantee when we will return, but shukran for your assistance. Thank you.
Of course. I will do what I can to keep an eye out for information on Nevarra.
That would be much appreciated. Anyway, thank you. We will try and get rid of this portal as soon as we can.
I wish you the best of luck.
Absolutely. And I will close the scry.
All right.
Well, good thing we are next to the magic school. Varhasa recommended that we speak with Aldrich Aitas, the world shifter. She said she would put in a good word for us under the wild roses.
I think you were alone in there.
Demir starts talking to herself and hope somebody will hear.
I mean, she will go and find some of the others. Wherever Levy and Toby and Lish are, if they're together. If not, she'll just find Lish.
Levy's tidying around.
Yeah, I was gonna say Toby was in the conservatory. Hawk was in the
Parlor.
Was in the parlor. You went to the den. Urin is just straight up vibing.
Lish would have lingered by Demir.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll tell Lish that. And
seems like it's a wizard's doing and a wizard's undoing.
I'm not surprised at that.
She said it must have been a powerful spellcaster.
Or a terrible mistake.
So
Lish really does not like wizards.
What do you got against wizards, my guy?
We gotta get this out of this wizard hate out of Lish's system before we
Or
can
you guys can just learn to dislike wizards with him. It's fine.
Okay,
We
we
figure out
have
his
to
reason
have
for
we have
disliking
to have
wizards.
room in our hearts for one wizard. One.
Which wizard is that?
It's poet. I told you guys he's a
Man.
fucking wizard.
Yeah, fuck you, Varhasa.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, we get
Two wizards.
Two wizards.
3
I
wizards?
fucking forgot about Varhasa because I'm a bastard.
I mean, what about World Shifter guy if we end up talking
Once
to him
we
more?
meet Poet,
Also,
and
but
3 wizards.
your brother Demir.
Three is the magic
Yeah.
number. We don't
4.
get any more wizards.
if we meet Poet and we can't convince him to give up wizardry, then we'll consider it.
Give up wizardry. You think he's gonna give up wizardry?
But I'm
God,
still
I
an
hope
int. But I'm
Nerd.
still
He's a
expecting it to. I'm
big
still expecting to
goddamn
intelligence.
nerd.
Have you considered artifice?
No, artificers are even worse.
Excuse you.
If it makes Lish feel any better, he's also a rogue.
That's
I
better.
can't
That's a lot
believe Lish.
better.
I can't believe Lish, just like Wizards of the Coast, hates Intcasters. SMH.
They're big fucking nerds.
And we get 3 wizards.
Okay. Do Lish and Demir spread this information to anyone besides themselves?
Well, they're still talking.
Oh, right. I didn't know you finished. My bad.
Demir is going to look at the crystal ball and look around at all of the dusting that everyone has done and just kind of.
Do you really think we're staying here?
Is she saying that to the people who are cleaning?
She's saying that to Lish.
Lish kind of just like looks around and shrugs. It is not exactly a hovel. It is not exactly a home.
With as much gold as we found here, we can certainly do very well for ourselves.
Certainly. If anything, it is a place that maybe we could introduce those children to, so they are squatting someplace respectable.
The house is falling apart. This is hardly a place for children if you are so concerned about them.
I don't think it will collapse anytime soon. It has good bones, as people would say. And not just the skeletons in the closet.
Literally, there's a graveyard right there.
Monster house? Monster
Ceiling
house?
is falling in.
Monster house.
But the mom haunting, it's really nice.
Well, I suppose half of the, perhaps the honorable thing to do would be to use their money to fix up their own house.
Lish kind of looks a little dubious at that.
But they are dead, so it's not as if they'll use it.
No, but it is a
They'll
lot
need
of
it.
energy to put into a place. We do not intend to stay.
Exactly. Kitchen's nice.
Perhaps the others feel differently, but
Okay.
Demir like kind of looks at the scrying ball again and just one moment. I am going to try and scry on Hawkstad again.
Only once per long rest, I'm afraid.
We've already taken a long rest. The first
Between-
time I
Last time
tried-
she did it was
Between scrying,
Oh,
last time.
I-
last time she.
just
Oh.
found this out recently.
Oh, so you can only scry once a
You
day.
can talk to people for
Once
10
a day.
minutes, but you can only do it for once per long rest.
oh, you had told me 3 times a day.
Yeah, that was a mistake on my part.
Okay. Okay, that changes things. All right. Okay, I'll put the orb away.
Well, we should find the others.
do we hear more crashing around the house to guide us to where we should go?
Hawk accidentally tips over the tips over the ceremonial harp, and you hear a loud fuck after.
Do you actually touch
No.
it? It is magic.
No.
So there
Not
were
like that one,
there
but
were
not-
2 harps. Hold on, there were 2 harps. There was one in the parlor, which seemed to just be for decoration. Then there's the one in here. in the
The
music
big
room.
one or the small one?
There
We
were
like try and go
various,
down.
but the one in the music room is the really fancy one.
We try and go down the
That's not-
stairs, and there's just bear traps littering the floor everywhere. We have to hop around.
Aaron, I don't think
Demir-
they got inside the house.
Demir is going to go into the music room actually, and just like, we were going to check the harp.
I can identify it now that I'm certainly, but I don't want to touch it. Do you want to?
I'll identify it, and
Please
if
be
it
careful.
curses me, you can take care of it.
I can certainly try.
So
I will.
identify. It says you choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting of this spell.
Yeah, that's what
I
we're
am-
saying, is that Lish doesn't want to touch it because he has lesser restoration and would want to be able to cast lesser restoration. So Demir's gonna identify it.
Demir is just touching all the cursed objects. It's fine.
All right.
Bad. No.
So
Cannot
The-
stop her hubris, Lish.
I
for the
can and I
sake
will.
for the sake of Felix, in the music room, there's overstuffed furniture. That's all kind of turned to face a handsome concert harp that is dramatically sculpted with a flock of flying doves. There is a piano in the corner with lots of cobwebs on it. The harp itself is about 6 feet tall, and in contrast to the rest of the room around it, it seems to be in fine condition. So Demir, you reach out and touch the harp. I would like you to make a DC 14 wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy. Okay, actually
As
that's
always.
that's an 18 on the die. 22.
Good.
Okay. You are not compelled to play it then.
Okay.
That's what I
Um,
fucking thought. Goddamn cursed harp.
What do I identify about the harp?
So you identify that this harp has an inherent tune to it. The tune itself is a fast-paced song that you know what, tell me a history.
I think I already know where this is going. This is devious. I love it. If I'm right, at least. I hope I'm right.
That's a 9.
9. You don't know the name of the song. You heard it before, and like as you're identifying the harp, you kind of hear the tune in the back of your head. And it's fast paced, and it's mournful but hopeful at the same time. It's kind of weird. But once someone plays the song, once someone is compelled to play the song by the harp, they now know that song by heart and can play it on any instrument. But it only compels someone like to play it once every decade.
Well, it is a self-playing harp, in a sense. If you touch it, you are compelled to play a song, and it will be stuck in your head forever.
You could say that you'd know it by heart.
I was supposed to do that. mean,
What's the opposite of inspiration? Because Levy gets that.
Levy gets an impromptu bane cast upon her.
But,
Man, my hunch was that it was going to be a heart that compels people to play it perfectly, which would have been an awesome magical power move by a rich house to be like, hey, look, I can play the heart. Look at how masterful I am.
But otherwise, it's just a magic heart. Doesn't seem anything sinister. Okay. Once you are compelled, it will stop trying to compel anyone. So, something to keep in mind for the future.
Very nice harp.
Yeah. And Demir will just turn to Lish and should we I think that was it. Was there anything else that we needed to check?
You still have the music box, but you identified it as non-magical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Demir's not touching
I have
that
the music
again.
box. It's in my pocket. It didn't seem to do anything though, so
I
Yeah.
don't know.
All right. Demir will peek into the conservatory where Toby is.
Okay.
Toby.
Tobias kind of gives a common response as he looks up. Caught him midway with removing dead plants from the pots, and he was setting ones out for new plants to be grown in them. He was trying to spruce up the conservatory, as much as he could, make it look a little nice, prepare it for new growth and stuff. He's and when he sees Lish behind him, he's like, "Oh, Lish, perfect timing. Do you think you could grow some plants in these pots?"
I can druid craft some small buds.
Yay!
Is there seeds in here? Well, I can see what I can do. Mix of plant growth and druidcraft and passion. Grow some little flare buds and stuff.
All right. Yeah. You get it started. Roll just a wisdom check.
I've been rolling shit today. That's a 7.
Okay. It's fine. You get little flowers.
Just little bits.
Yeah.
Well, Varhasa didn't have a lot of information regarding the Shadowfell portal, other than a powerful wizard created it. But she promised to put a good word in with Aldrich Aitis at the university for the Wild Roses. So if we go seeking his aid in dispelling this portal, hopefully he will be more inclined to help us.
Have you met this person at the university?
I think, did all of us meet him, or was it just Demir?
He was in the library, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He was
the
in
one
the
with
library.
He also hosted like the magic
Demir and
contest.
Irin met him in the library. He was also at the festival.
He's
Isn't he the guy with the cat
flying
familiar?
cats.
Yeah,
Yeah, we all met him.
yeah.
I'm not sure if we all know his actual name, but
The one
we
with the
might.
flying cat.
Um,
He was in the library when we were trying to research there.
It's good that we already know him.
Or he is somewhat familiar with us.
Well, it's certainly better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What do we intend to do here at this house?
I don't know. And Tobias kind of like looks at all the potted plants and stuff, and says, part of me just wants to help her because it feels right.
Would Demir have told us about the deed?
Oh, well, while we were exploring the house, I did find the deed entitled to the land. And quite a bit of gold. We could easily sell it or hold on to it. I have the family signet ring. It wouldn't be too difficult to transfer it into anyone's name. I don't think we should get rid of the land until we have taken care of the portal to the Shadowfell, but something to consider.
If possible, we'd be able to at least hold on to it until Esme decides she wishes to pass on. It almost feels wrong having, because this is her home and she's still here even if she can't do anything. And to have that just taken away and given to someone else without consent rubs me the wrong way.
She is dead.
Is everybody there?
If you guys want to be.
Yeah, yeah.
We're just hanging out in the conservatory.
Feel like Levy would finish tidying up a room and come find everybody and see how the scry with Barhasa went. And then this conversation goes up.
Regurgitate what I just said.
I'm muted. I'm gonna have Hawk show up there soon too.
Yeah.
So we don't have to hunt down everyone a second time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe when Demir points out that the lady's dead, maybe kind of wrinkles her nose and shakes her head and says, "But she's still here, and this is still her home."
She obviously cares what happens to it.
If we care enough to help her with everything else, we should probably not do things by halves. I don't really want a ghost on my bad side. Not to mention with the tiefling children, I would rather they have somewhere to go where we know that they'll be safe.
What I was saying to Demir is, if they were invited to here, it is better than wherever else they've been squatting.
There's a problem
would be
there, though.
A house that is falling apart with a portal to the Shadowfell. I don't know if that is the best environment for a bunch of
I don't
children.
think that they will be able to find it unless they decide to start digging up graves.
And we could maybe have this place fixed up. It's not falling down on our heads, it's just in need of some love.
There's a problem there, though. I personally am still in the camp of helping out Esme and perhaps even staying here. It's been forever since any of us have had a home, I imagine. But the problem therein is, yes, we could fix it up, perhaps. And perhaps we could indeed invite those tieflings in. But we still have things to do out there. We can't stay here for the rest of our lives.
No,
And who's
of course
going-
not.
And
but
and just a moment. Who's going to look after the house while we're away? We can't
Esme?
exactly well, Esme, yes, but she's a ghost. And as far as I can tell, she's not capable of touching anything. I'm not sure how she would keep things in the shape that we want to improve it into, and not to mention look after the kids if they get invited in here. We need someone else, corporeal, to look after the house while we're gone. And possibly arrange any carpenters and house renovators, etc., that we might hire on to fix up the house.
I mean, we have to go find Poet, and I wanted to go check on my family, and if we find Poet and he doesn't want to go home, and if my sister wanted to leave home, then they could come here and look after it for us. I don't know.
I think that's a
That
great
is a
idea,
lot.
but we still
It
need
would-
to think of someone for the time between.
That is a lot of ifs.
It is a lot of ifs. It would just be nice to have a place to come back to for all of us. Somewhere we can take a break when we need it. We'll just have to figure something out, but I think that this would be worth any trouble that we would go through to keep it, is my point.
Having an asset like this is better than not.
The good outweighs any if, ands, or buts, I think.
We did
Oh.
find a significant amount of gold. Enough probably to pay for repairs.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine the roof needs to be redone.
Not to mention all the wrecked furniture.
That is a long project, and we are still. With
We
a
don't
lot
need to do it all ourselves.
No. We could hire people, and we could see if we haven't made enough of a friend to house it. while we figure out a more permanent solution. Or at least just somebody to keep an eye on the place.
You think we should call our angel friend?
Perhaps.
She's not too busy with the, she's not too busy with her own order, though from what little time we spent with her, I imagine she'd be glad to get away from her father.
I do need to speak with her about the sword.
It would be a good test of how children fare here as well.
She does have that kobold.
And I'm sure she wouldn't mind looking after a couple other charges. Maybe. I'm not leaving those kids out on the street.
No, I think we're all in agreement there.
Here's an idea. A bit of a hard sell, perhaps, but this wizard that we need to talk to, the World Shifter, right? The man we talked to in the library?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps he'd be interested in some temporary lodging while he figures out how to deal with the portal.
I don't think that this is going
Blackmail
to
him
be up to
into
his
saying,
standards.
I see.
No.
Blackmail, just he doesn't have to go far to work on it.
We lure him to the house, and we planar bind him to the house.
Planar bind a plane shifting wizard to a house?
I don't think that this is going to be up to his standards. He has a
I'd say it
very
would be a hard
comfortable
sell.
position in the university, and this is a house that is mostly falling apart.
Well, sure.
It's an interesting challenge.
He'd be here to work. He could just check on it.
At least
He
until
works on the
Valkyria shows up.
portal.
If she shows up.
I am certain that it would not be difficult to find any kind of housekeeper in this town, regardless of if we personally know them now.
Sure.
Fair enough.
Tomorrow, I can try and contact Valkyrie. And we can see if she would be interested in watching over the house for us. If we intend to keep it. Do we intend to keep it?
Show of
That'd be
hands.
Sure. Show of hands.
Bias will raise his hand.
This is
Yeah,
biased
this
against
is-
people without webcams, SMH.
You can just say
if you're
Sounds like
holding
a
your hand
personal
up.
Hawk
problem,
puts up a
bitch.
hand.
I have offered to get you a webcam many times, Max.
You don't want to see me right like this anyway. My face has seen better days.
So is mine.
Same.
I look worse, trust me.
Your hand
Um,
up or not.
it's
There's
not a
a raise-
contest.
There's a raise hand button in Zoom.
Yeah. There's also that.
Fair play.
That's a good point.
I don't see the raise hand button, but
There it is.
Oh.
It's in the
Yeah.
options.
how? Where's that button?
Reactions at the bottom.
Oh, there it is. Hi.
What does Tobias think? Oh,
Yeah.
I already said he raised his hand.
Well, there you go.
Well, that
Majority vote.
majority wins.
I love
guess we'll keep the
democracy.
house.
Demir will
Insert Metal Gear Rising joke.
Demir will take out the deed and the signet ring. And
Levy, can I borrow a piece of paper from your notebook?
Maybe just hands her the whole fucking notebook. Might as well just be a communal notebook at this point. She doesn't keep it a secret.
Demir will very, very carefully tear out a blank page at the back. Like, she doesn't want to permanently mess anything up, but I'm going to try my best to create a deed of transfer using the deed and the information and the signet ring of the Tracy family to stamp and approve it.
All right. Are you proficient in a forgery kit?
No.
Okay. Well,
Legal
let me.
document.
Let me just look this up. What would this be? You can roll deception with advantage since you have the deed and the signet ring.
Cool. Let's try. That's cocked. Okay, that's a 19.
19. It looks pretty passable.
I'm not very familiar with legal documents of Sayad, but I think this will do.
Well, considering again the Esme's incorporeal state, I don't think she'd be able to give us an official document anyway. Can I see it?
Sure.
Hawk's gonna give it a read through, see how passable it is, because he grew up not in Saya, but very close to Saya, so he's probably a little more familiar with their kind of legalese.
So.
Yeah, I'd probably just like, but we might as well have a second pair of eyes, see if it's not, immediately detectable.
All right.
It could also just be a placeholder until we get an actual one.
True.
Roll
If
a
we
wisdom
can.
check
Wisdom. Oh boy.
or intelligence.
I'm gonna go with intelligence because that has a modifier.
Why are you making noises at me?
Kingsley demands attention.
Just ran up and started going
That's a little rude.
at me. I'm like,
That's a natural one. A 3.
this is the most legal document you've ever seen. In fact, you're pretty sure Demir actually managed to find like a proper deed of transfer.
Looks good enough to me.
Well, we can submit this with the proper authorities back in town. Should we just try to get an actual deed of transfer from the proper authorities in town?
Maybe that's a
Well,
better idea.
Given that the owners can't exactly transfer anything. True, but we do have the original deed. That is also true. Once we get into town, we can try and see what we can do.
Question is, are we doing that today or tomorrow?
What time is it?
Time for Kingsley to take over Avery's video feed, apparently.
It's
Yes,
trouble
that
time.
was his ass. But
Oh my god, Kingsley!
Oh man, it was? I didn't want to make an assumption.
it's like
Sorry,
6 o'clock in the evening.
Perhaps it's a bit late. For now, we can go tomorrow. I think that'd probably be best, unless, you want to walk back through the rain in the dark.
About how far away is the town?
Couple hours.
Couple hours, okay. Definitely not feasible to grab dinner from town and bring it back then.
We have rations.
True.
Well, maybe we should go through and make a list of all the things that need repair. Tomorrow, some of us can go to the courts, and some of us can go find for the repair.
Some of us can go find what?
Workers for the
Workers.
repair.
Workers, I see.
For the repair.
Mm.
I wouldn't mind handling that at least. I'm good at making lists.
All right.
What's that?
You had to sleep for the evening, or in the house, or outside of the house, or
That's a good question. All the beds are moldy, so we probably don't want to sleep on those. You cut out for that.
I said they're kind of gross. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we're probably
Yeah.
gonna break out our bed rules. Probably don't want to sleep outside because it's rainy as shit. And
We can just pick
also,
one of the rooms and sleep in it.
just set up bed rules.
Yeah.
Sleep
Sleep
over.
in the parlor.
Maybe we'll get a fireplace going, make sure it's clear of shit up the chimney and flue first, and
So there are lots of fireplaces in the house.
like preferably one where we're sleeping.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I heard mention of the parlor.
I don't think the parlor's a fireplace. The den does, though, right?
I think they both have fireplaces. Let me just
Do
double
they?
check my notes.
Yeah, I would say sleep in the den.
Wherever is the
places
least
have-
damp.
Yeah, that's fair.
The
That-
least
that-
damp would probably be the library.
Let's go
But-
sleep in the library.
Okay.
That works. There's actually something I wanted to do tonight.
All right.
Hawk is going to try to remember anything that could help him pin down, or that could help him remember just any date from when Jamie was alive, or when shit, I said his name. Fuck. Ah! You don't know that.
We heard nothing.
Thank you. When Papa was alive, or when he was with Rosania.
You can remember various dates that they were all around. Like what are you looking for specifically?
Okay, let's go. Okay. Hawk is going to try to remember the date that Jamie died.
Okay. So I don't have a specific calendar.
I mean,
For this
obviously, I didn't
universe?
expect you to, but you've given us some dates.
Yeah. Let me just go look at so in the modern era, it's the ninth era. The year is 1837.
Mm-hmm.
So 1837, he died when he was like 28, 27. So So I'm just doing some math here.
Yeah. Hardest part of anything.
Yeah. He died, from your perspective, 1823, thereabouts, in early autumn.
All right. So at this point, then, Hawks tries to shake off the sorrow, fails, and then tries again. And he starts doing some mental math. And then he said he died in 1823 in early autumn from Hawk's perspective.
No, he died at about like 1851. Sorry.
Thank you. Okay.
Misspoke
I was like,
there.
wait, what?
Trying to make sure that his age makes sense. That was my bad.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So he died in 1851.
All right. He starts doing some mental math then. And then just like, he doesn't have a face, so I can't describe
I'll have to double check that. I have a timeline somewhere, but I can't find it.
Okay. Give me the exact date if it's not 1851, just like eventually.
Yeah, I'll message you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Because I can't find the timeline I made.
Still work.
For now, just assume that that is correct.
Mhm. So that would mean I'm gonna do the rest of this math later, maybe just like on my own or something. But Hawks just sort of just like leans back and sighs, almost with relief, even though he doesn't have lungs. And now he's gonna actually try to rest.
Okay.
I wanted to have Tobias use his sending stone to reach out to Otzi. And just to make sure I remember the rules of it, it's you can talk back and forth with the person, but you're limited to 25 words.
You can send a message of 25 words, and then Offsy can send 25 words back.
Okay. Cool. Just want to make sure, so I don't like put too many words and stuff. Tobias will ask, let me see, just counting them out real quick.
Okay, I found the timeline. Sorry, going back to Hawk. He died 1845.
45, thank you.
Anyway, continue, Toby.
Yeah, Tobias takes his sending stone and murmurs quietly into it. Hello, Dad. How are you? I have a question.
You hear Offsy say back, hello, Tobias. It's a little late. What can I help with? And then you have to take a long rest before you can use it again.
Yes! But I guess at the end of that, what he said, we said, I have a question, so he'll add at the end, I'll ask you in the morning. Like he'll add that at the end just to let Oxy know.
Okay.
I will ask you in the morning, but I have a question.
Okay. Hawk. It's as you're trying to settle down, for the evening. It's at this point you actually hear Valk's voice in your head. It's Valk following leads. No word on cure for Irin or Hawk's dad's whereabouts. Well, what is Navarra's order? Looking to get their assistance. Tears blessing.
Can you respond?
Yeah, you can respond with 25 words.
I actually have a document open, so I'm just going to check that. Let's try. Good to hear from you. So that's 5. Good to hear from you. 25 words, right?
Yep.
Okay. From you. So good to hear from you. In C manner. What's the city name again?
Royas. Royis.
Okay, good to hear from you. Staying in Tricey Manor east of Royas. Going to rebuild it. Would like help. How many words is that? Because I might want to also say we won't be there. That's 19 words according to Google. So that's 6 more.
Good to hear from you. Staying in Tricey Manor east of Royas would like help.
Going to rebuild it would like help.
Okay.
We may not be there, though. Oh, no, we may leave. I'm going to change.
You don't have to use all the words.
Yeah, but I want to get as much Okay. Okay, perfect. That's 24. He's going to say, after just like a bunch of mental math, like I imagine that he just has Google Docs open up in his head. Jesus Christ.
Hopefully not too much mental math,
literally.
because the window will close if you don't respond.
Yeah, he'll like try to speed it up. Good to hear from you. Staying in Tricey Manor east of Royas. Rebuilding it would like help. We may leave soon. You may stay.
Okay.
There. I feel like I cheated, but
You did for now, but this is your first time, so I'll
okay,
forgive
fair.
you.
Sorry. I won't use Google next
time. Good to hear from you. Staying in Tricey Manor east of Royas. Rebuilding it would like help. We may leave soon. You may stay.
Yeah, I can send you the actual message if you need it.
I wrote it down. I'm sending it back to Lars. You did not answer any of her questions.
I did not realize there were questions in there. I am an idiot. Oops. Oh, well.
Valk reaches out to Hawk asking questions about important things. Hawk responds back, "Hi, we have a house now. You can stay."
Shit.
She's like all business, and Hawk is just like, "Hey, gal pal, what's up?
Hey, girl.
Girl.
Hello.
You want to check out our crib?
Hey, girl boss.
Hey, girl, hey.
That's like gatekeep girl boss.
Oh my gosh, you won't believe what just happened in Royas.
Oh my gosh, we totally just have a house now.
Hey,
He's like twirling
oh
like
God,
a
oh my God.
wire, like his hair.
Oh my God, Val, you won't believe it. Lish got some new shoes.
Girl, we should totally meet for drinks sometime and catch up.
We're gonna adopt more kids. Do you want to babysit?
You want to meet some good berries over lunch?
Babysit, we won't pay you.
Jesus fuck.
Anyway.
I guess before everybody's properly settles down, Levy is going to find Lish and ask him for a moment of his time.
Who, me?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. He's just probably has been poking around looking at stuff while everybody's been arguing.
She goes and finds him and asks for a moment of his time.
Certainly.
I've been meaning to check in on you for a while. It's been a lot recently, but especially after the portal in practically our brand new backyard, graveyard,
Lars calling us out.
well, of course, all of you are important to me, but you've always looked after me, and I figure I might as well return the favor and ask how you are.
The bathtub upstairs if you want to do this.
Yeah, but she's going to assume it doesn't work.
Shuddering pipe as it spews
Yeah.
out.
Like they try to start it up and it sounds like old pipes trying to run hot water and they just
All you need is create water and like a way to heat it. Like you're fine.
We have prestidigitation.
Yum. Delicious.
That's about it.
Prestidigitation.
Unless Lish can create water.
I mean,
Not
I think
today.
I'm pretty sure that's a druid spell, but yeah, I'd have to like rest for that if they work as prepared casters like clerics
Oh well.
do.
It's fine.
Lish kind of gives her a little bit of a soft smile and just like, it's very kind of you. I am doing all right. He kind of like comes in a little bit close to Levy, kind of tucks a bit confidentially to her, conspiratorially, and it's just like, Demi told me that she loves me yesterday.
Levy just beams at that.
Well, that's lovely. Finally.
I'll laugh at that. Being on the mortal plane is bound to have its trials and upsets. It's not a good place.
Not always, no. But I know we all tend to lean on you, but you know you can ask us for help, right?
I understand.
But will you do it?
If I need it.
She's giving him the look. I'm like,
he just kind of like looks back and like raises his eyebrows, like what?
Lish, I know that you can handle yourself and you're used to being much more much less limited than you are now and here, but To be frank, I'd worry about you even if you weren't stripped of what was rightfully yours, as far as any of us are concerned.
He kind of gives her a bit of a cheeky grin at that. It's like, oh, you do care.
Don't look at me like that.
He's like teasing her.
I'm being serious. She's gonna like smack him on the chest.
This is very sweet of you.
I don't do it to be sweet.
I mean it to be fierce.
Just in a way.
You continue to look out for me, Levy. I won't have any fear.
A little fear is healthy,
Well,
but only a little.
more fearful than Demir's brazen axe, at least.
I still need to find the words for Demir, unfortunately. I would like to worry less.
Lish just kind of sucks his teeth like, well, you are not wrong. You and I both worry and are concerned.
Of course.
As I worry and am concerned for you.
I appreciate it, but you all take care of me so much. I think it's about time that all of you know that I'm here for you all, regardless of the state that I'm in.
Of course.
Please ask me for help. Even if it's, I don't know, a hug, a conversation, a fireball in somebody's face.
Of course. I rely on you very much already. I hope you see that.
Sometimes.
Well. Maddie, get off the sofa. Little brat.
Brat cat. I love him. He's a good quality cat.
Just all off the shits today.
Every cat
I've
is
literally
like-
heard Bug like running around like a bat out of hell upstairs, like right above my head this whole time.
I finally died. He's on his.
I'm amazed you haven't heard anything about Bo.
Yeah, honestly, Bo is.
That was
He is
before you guys got
chaotic.
here.
He is locked up. He is in cat jail.
He is in
Look at the
prison where he
recording.
belongs.
When you look
Yeah.
at the recording for this session, you will see that the past hours were before you all showed up.
Oh man.
Incredible.
Anyway,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Lish kind of like reaches and like puts an arm around Levy's shoulders and kind of gives her a bit of a hug. Like, these things are difficult. Always.
And they're less difficult when you talk to us instead of turning into,
Stone?
among other things,
Ash?
a stoat,
A stone.
weasel, ferret, whatever you want to call it.
He kind of contemplates that, like, I haven't turned into a stoat, but that is an idea for another time. They are quite
The same family.
the weasel family.
Weasel.
What? I find that I'm quite charming when I'm a weasel. A ferret to mink.
As true as that might be. I'd like it if you talk to somebody when you're that overwhelmed.
I've tried avoiding it as of late.
Doesn't help anybody, does it?
Well, considering that everyone was falling apart, I thought that it was not feasible.
Now I'm telling you that even when I'm falling apart, I will keep some of myself together for you if you need it. Hell or high water, Lish. Weesh. My brain doesn't work, I'm sorry.
Levy straight up like, we ride together, we die together.
Literally.
I appreciate it.
Just don't isolate yourself. Even if it's not direct, physical.
Just kind of nods. It is getting quite late.
Suppose. And we have a lot of things to do.
By the way, and he'll kind of like with his arm around Levy's shoulder, he'll kind of like walk her back towards where everybody is kind of gathering for bed, and just kind of like to her. We never did quite see what was in the letter that poet wrote you, and I am endlessly curious about what he said in that letter that made you react so. You do not seem too concerned for his well-being. I hope that is good news.
I mean, you know me, I worry endlessly, but
Did it give you reason to fear for your family? Is that why you want to go back to the farm?
Somewhat.
Should we be concerned?
Maybe it's a little hard to explain. Reading that letter, I suppose, reminded me just how long I've been away, and we are missing time, but even outside of the strangeness of our collective temporal issues, I am missing time from before I met any of you. And
Are you? What kind of time are we talking about?
it wasn't well, Lish.
Right.
And I was alone. Nobody to pull me out, so.
A different loss of time than perhaps what Hawk has experienced.
Yeah. So there's quite a gap in my memory, and I worried about, and with our odd things with time and such, I worry that I have been away much longer than it feels, and I just want to check.
And did what poet wrote to you make you concerned about that more than you already were?
Yeah. And he said, I know he has help, but he's off trying to plane jump and figure out.
Plane jumped. Is that what?
He's trying to get to the plane of dreams in order to help me, and he didn't say anything before he left, and he's
May I read
dumb.
the letter? Is it all right if I read the letter?
Yes. Yes. She'll pull it out and hand it to him. Hang on, let me get the fucking link. Let me send it to you.
You have it, or do you need me to grab it?
No, I got it. I pulled it up to like look over it so that Levy can give him the gist, and then he's just asking for it. So luckily, it's just already open.
Ooh, fancy typography. Okay, give me a second to process this.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's reading it, and she's just like rubbing at her temples and muttering under her breath an infernal because her cousin is a dumb fucking wizard full of dumb fucking wizard hubris, and god damn it.
That's just
of course
what wizards
he
be
fucked off
like.
without a word to go to a different plane.
Hubris.
Azelma.
Don't know who that is, and I don't know where they are, and god damn it.
And I would know that name, Avery.
You certainly do.
Word?
Oh, word.
Sits
Maybe
on
I
his
should've-
seat, leans in.
Maybe I should have told them about this letter sooner.
I did everything I could to get Levy to share that letter.
Had to do was ask.
Listen, a
Exhibit
woman's
was
secrets are her
asked. He
own.
now has the letter.
Yeah, and I gotta remember the context of it.
He left this and nothing else for her when he fucked off out of seemingly nowhere to her, basically.
And then Levy never wanted to open it for fear of what it could
She
say.
didn't want to open it because she was terrified, and now she just knows that he's a big dumbass.
Instead of terrified, now she's angry.
Frustrated.
No, upset.
I just imagine the whole time she sees the letter, she's just like, oh god, like, what could it say? What could it be? And then she opens it and she just goes, oh.
Motherfucker.
This
she,
fucker.
like, instead of being ready to like cry and have like a nervous breakdown, now she just wants to like smack him upside the head.
Find him
Makes
just
me
so
think
that she
about
can scold him.
Infernal.
Fucking, anime joke where it's like, hears Poet speaking in her head as she's reading the letter, and then it just goes, oh, and then in the background in the sky you just see Poet just put up a peace sign, winking, like, doing my stuff. He's like,
And she's
"Oh,
like,
yeah."
bitch.
And do I know who Narissa is? Is Narissa someone you talked about?
No, but if Lish asks, she'll tell him.
Okay, so in the scene, as Lish is reading this,
You don't know the name, but you know a couple things about Blemix.
sure. Yeah, so in the scene, as Lish is reading this letter, he gets to a certain point of it, and he gets this kind of like look on his face of like recognition and like
Levy is squinting.
like surprise and like a little bit of concern. And just kind of like
Should I be worried?
Maybe not worried, but intrigued.
I'm going
A
to
fortune
kill
teller.
him. I'm going to hurt him.
I am familiar. It might not be. As Selma is a common enough name, I suppose.
Care to elaborate? Do you know a fortune teller or somebody?
Not a fortune teller, but a hag. By the same name.
And this hag could be mistaken for a fortune teller?
They, like hags, are known to be more or less whatever they would like to be.
So it's fairly likely that it's the same person?
I have seen her as a fortune teller before. I've mostly seen her just as herself, but we have made exchanges in the past.
Lish, I'm going to need more.
I don't know if I have more. I don't remember too much about specific details. I know that she's helped me in the past. I have bargained with her before when I was ill. Hags are known for their strong magics and healing abilities that are more effective than anything most any of us, even on the magical side of things, are capable of. I have helped her in the past, and she has helped me in the past. I'm curious if it is the same person. If Poet is seeking this person out, and it is who I am thinking of, he may be in danger, though hags are very powerful. They do play by rules. And as far as hags go, she is of the more trustworthy variety. She has interacted with many of the courts in the past.
So, chances are he's probably fine?
I would not assume. Is he a very polite boy?
He has a sweet disposition. Not that he comes off as such to most.
It is unlikely that anything has happened, though depending on what he is asking for, his payment might be for that information. Who is to say? Hags will try and get as much as they can. They are much in demand.
I'm going to hit him with a stick. I'm going to punch him in the face, and then I am going to wrap him in cushions, and then I am going to lock him in a basement.
Levy, this Nerissa. Who is this Nerissa that is referenced in this letter?
Hang on. Let me just make sure I have my information right before I open my fucking mouth.
Yeah, me with my backstory open also that I wrote and don't remember.
Okay, hang on. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah. Avery, I do remember this part of my backstory. It's just like the details escape.
It's been a while.
I know.
You wrote that intake sheet like over a year ago.
Yeah.
So.
No.
Okay.
I saw the name and I was just like, something backstory.
Hey, Lamel. Okay, Okay.
Nerissa she's not very well liked by the well-to-do normal townspeople of my hometown, but that's just because she's a bit of an odd duck, such as Poet and myself. So she's a kind woman, and
And how would she know about the planes? If Levy would even know.
DM? You gave me a rundown of her like reputation and personality, and that was about it.
You are not sure. You know that you were kind of kept away from her, as most of the children are. But
Just the nice weird lady down the street.
nice weird lady down the street. You know that she's got long black hair and heterochromia. And you thought that was like the shit when you were a kid.
Sounds about right. Okay, cool. Then, yeah, Levy's just gonna kind of shrug and say, well, that was already a bit odd, and my parents didn't want me to get any weirder, and, well, I didn't need any help, but they did try to keep me away from her and all of that. I don't really know her that well. I just mostly know of her. She's just a nice lady, and she probably just knew where to send Poet for actual planar knowledge. She could be a fellow scholar. She could be a magically inclined individual, or she could just know people.
She seemed to know where to find a fortune teller. Are fortune tellers common in your hometown?
hard to say. I wasn't allowed off the farm. If you remember, and oh, bastard. Bastard cat.
He was doing that thing where he was yelling at me and like getting sideways and puffy and hopping at me. I'm like, no, I have to intervene.
Okay, cool. Cat break. And Levy's gonna be doing a lot of shrugging and just... It's another reason I want to go back, is because if Poet isn't home, I want to speak with this woman, and
She might know.
more than what he gave me.
She might know more than just about the plane of dreams as well. She might be able to tell us more about what's going on in the Feywild.
Possibly. I'm sorry, I don't know more.
He like shakes his head like hags. Like
Hags!
hags. It's like previously when hags were mentioned, you saw Lish was just like, I don't want to fucking deal with it. Like, they seem to put him off of his rhythm more than most things.
Throw him off his groove.
Like, just, you get the sense probably that even when he was very powerful, he was still kind of scared of hags. For good reason.
A healthy amount of caution.
A healthy amount of caution to these ultra kind of powerful beings.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Lisha's gonna kind of give her the letter back. He's gonna hand it back to her and say, "You should share this with the rest."
I know. Just tomorrow, after we get a couple other things dealt with, I feel bad enough leaving those kids out on the street for another night.
They seemed to have places that they were able to go. And we gave them food, and I believe we gave them a bit of money as well. I remember.
That's all well and good, but they're still just children and
yeah. Lish nods and gives a little hug. It's like, I understand.
tomorrow we'll deal with things and
we'll kind of walk back towards where we've got the bed set up.
She's gonna smack him on the chest again and say, "You gotta stop helping me when I'm trying to be helpful to you."
These things benefit each other. Why must they be mutually exclusive? You are not a burden.
She's gonna have just this frustrated but fond, just lopsided grin on her face, and she'll huff dramatically and give him a little peck of a kiss and
the smooch.
and fuck off to wherever her bedroll is.
Like, boy, I hope that none of you are afraid of ghosts, because it does appear that we are going to be sleeping in a haunted house tonight.
oh no, she's lovely. I like her.
Is she the only ghost in this house, though? We don't know that for sure.
Why did you have to say that? Why did you have to say that, Vervain? Why?
Are you
Why did
afraid
you
of
have to-
ghosts?
It's
No, no.
fine, they can't touch us.
Hey now. We already know there's a second ghost in the area. Hawk gestures towards Aaron.
Local ghosts in your area, more likely than you think. Tobias will say to Lish, if you're
You
afraid of
hear-
ghosts,
Hold on.
you can sleep with me.
Hawk, you hear in your head, Volk again.
Spooky!
Oh my god.
Affirmative will travel to Royas early tomorrow. Need to resupply. Still need information on Navarro before leaving Iera. Estimate of the arrival of 12 days. Tears, blessings.
Shit. Okay, that's what he was asking about. Asking about Navarro, right?
These count as your words.
Damn it! I was asking for confirmation.
That was to the DM, not
yes.
to.
Yeah, like, I don't actually remember what Navarra is. Because I am...
Demir's cool sword.
My sword. Which
Can
speaking
Hawk
of, I
can
don't
Hawk-
think Hawk knows anything about it.
No, Demir
hasn't
hasn't
been sharing.
told him anything about the cursed sword that she found out. Is he able to talk without responding to the sending?
No.
Maybe.
There's a window
Okay.
for responding that opens when you get it. And
Does he know that Demir went to go find out anything about Navarre? Because I'm not sure if he was in the
No.
loop.
I thought that when they went to the university, did they not mention? I thought no. I
said
think
we're gonna go to the university to find out about
the sword.
planar travel.
But we
The
also
sword was just a little bonus thing. I don't
That
think
was
we
a bonus.
Hang on, I'm being called.
Your focus was talking about planar travel, trying to see if your mage initiate wizard friend would be able to get a tuning fork for you.
Yeah.
well, Hawk, you can always use a couple of your words to ask.
Hawk got briefly called away, so.
Sorry about that. Mom needed help leaving the house because both of her arms were full of stuff.
All good.
Okay. So here's sorry about not answering. No information on Navarre yet.
Okay.
Which is a big
that's-
fat lie, Demir.
That's 9 words. Do you want to say anything else?
Sure. Sorry for not answering earlier. Going to look for Levy's brother soon.
Okay.
It's his cousin.
Yes.
Whatever. Let's say it's a slip of the mind.
I mean, they're basically siblings. It's
They're
fine.
basically siblings.
Hang on.
If it gets caught up.
Okay.
Cut off
No, you
soon.
got it. Sorry
Okay,
for
cool.
not
It would've been-
answering. No information on Navarre yet. Sorry for not answering earlier. Going to look for Levy's brother, cousin. Sorry.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Terrible fucking message.
He closed the Google Doc.
It's fine.
How many words does he have? How many words does he have left in that message, actually? If any.
Hang on.
What, you want to throw another fucking sorry in there just to be safe?
Why not?
My
No,
bad, bro.
there-
My bad.
If there's 4 words left over, there's one more thing he'd like to say.
3 words.
Okay, he's gonna try and say lots on my mind, but it's gonna get cut off and just say lots on my.
Okay.
Oh my god.
This man doesn't know how magic works.
Okay.
Hawk.
Congrats.
We did. Congratulations, I done it.
Consent.
Lots on. Valkyrie's gonna send a message back to him and be like, "Lots on your what?"
Anyway,
Um,
we were discussing the merits of haunted house.
Why did you have to fucking say that? Why? Ugh.
All right, Demir. It's not haunted enough that I couldn't protect you.
Bedvane, Samira is just going to take her pillow and put it over her head, laying face down on the ground. Just like,
Oh, Demir, if it makes you feel any better, my brain's scarier than any ghost could hope to be.
This point,
Wow.
Esme kind of just drifts in through the wall and sits down on one of the pieces of furniture and just watches.
Samira's got her face down in the pillows.
Demir, come on.
You were not frightened of them earlier.
Not.
They were all over the place.
Levy's going to
We're
turn
like-
to the lady of the house and ask,
Is there anybody else haunting the place?
That's a clear
See,
not
not
that I
that
know, and I
she
can't even
knows
lip
them.
read.
Oh, Demi,
She
you were
doesn't
so brave today, going down into a cistern and pulling out a bunch of bones. How is anything else scarier than that?
She doesn't think there's anybody else here, and I feel like she would know. It's her house, and she's been haunting it for quite some time.
There's a lot of gesturing and
Graveyard? Graveyard?
What did she say, Avery?
Said you mentioned a portal out in the graveyard. Just, I don't know if that's a problem.
Not for long?
I feel so bad for not being able to lip read because that just means this character's effectively mute for me.
You stuck your head in a big scary portal, Demir. Come on.
Yes, but there's a difference between when you are sleeping and when you are awake. And when you are awake, you can do things about it, but when you are asleep and someone's watching you, it's just a little creepy.
Lish is like teasing Demir and like going over to like so you're just like, you are very brave. You'll be able to face it, I'm sure. Come on now.
I am fine. I can face things. It's more about the.
What is she saying, Avery?
Saying, I can leave if you want. I can go upstairs to the master bedroom.
I think that might be best.
She looks a little huffy, and I then leave.
So if you don't like being watched
Ended our
by...
lovely host, Demir.
I do
Totally
not.
giving her shit.
Demir just like stands up and walks away like, I will be back, I'm taking a walk.
She doesn't appreciate being watched while she sleeps. Does that mean that she doesn't like it when people go on watch either?
Levy blows Demir a kiss as she leaves.
Lish is gonna send Gree to Gree will go with Avery or with Demir if Gree isn't already in her hair.
Yeah, Demir will not turn Gree away. But she is going to like kind of walk off and wander around a little bit, more just huffy for the point of being huffy. And probably like just going through and like wherever she can.
Huh.
Wherever she can, using mending to try and fix things up a little bit.
Okay. Eventually, Esme does come and join you. She is kind of giving you some space, but she's noticed you fixing things. She looks appreciative.
In another life, I might have been like you. I hope it worked out for you.
She just starts to reach towards you. Do you let her do so? Just
Sure.
she kind of just runs her hand along your hair, and it feels kind of soothing. It's a very motherly touch. You can kind of feel it. It feels weird, like it's the wind doing this, but it's kind.
Sorry.
Thank you for letting us use your house.
She kind of reaches over and cups your cheek, and you can't feel it this time, but she looks very sympathetic. And then she disappears.
Demir will kind of take a moment just alone, take a few breaths and continue her pathway of cleaning and fixing. She's probably going to make a big old loop, through the music room, through the servants area.
Just staying on the first floor.
Yeah, she's not going up. But she's going to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, fixing it up, and
Got
then
potential. Got potential.
Yeah, she definitely she looks in the bread oven, checks it out, make sure it's all sound, looks around the other areas, and just kind of spends a lot of time in there doing some cleaning up. And then eventually we'll make her way back to the library through the foyer and the den, and yeah. And she'll just kind of flop down back on her bedroll once she's done with her huffy walk.
Since I've become aware of it, I think Aaron is gonna spend his time before going to bed, attuning to the acorn.
Okay.
And he's going to untie one of his bracelets and make it into a little pendant necklace.
All right. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to do this evening?
Cuddle up with everybody.
All right. So you have a nice cuddle pile going. I don't know if anyone was keeping watch. It doesn't matter too much.
Lish
really.
will keep watch in his 4 hours awake.
Every now and then Esme will kind of just drift on the room, kind of check on you as a mother would check on her children. But she wants to give you guys some space. And it's calm, and it's quiet, and it's peaceful, and you can hear the rain outside through the windows. And that's where we'll call session.
All right.
All right. Wow, thank you.
What a good session.
Yeah, this is real fun.
I'm so excited for us to have a house.
House logistics, heart to heart, fucked up sending messages. And thanks to a bit of mental math that I had to actually double check through notes, I finally figured out Hawk's relative age.
Nice.
Worm?
Worm.
How old's this robot?
He's -1.
Be on board.
I love it.
And for him.
If Colette
He's somewhere
is,
else.
if
He's
Colette
probably
is,
a pile of fucking
if
nuts and
Colette,
bolts.
if Colette is 2, Hawk is -1.
But that means that his builder is alive. If he hasn't been built yet.
I mean, we know that his builder is alive because Valkyria saw him in somewhere, and Demir's been trying to scry on him and has been blocked and not
This is
failed.
Extra double confirmation.
Yeah. So now Hawk's got 2 potential avenues to go after, because this also means that he technically hasn't met his mentor yet and won't have for a while. So he's got some interesting things to consider once we've found Poet. Because he wants to do that first before he addresses any of his personal baggage.
so
Putting friends
excited
first.
for like
It's so
everything.
good.
Lots to contemplate.
Oh yeah, so much.
When we wake up, we'll finally discuss the letter, Levy. I'm gonna make you.
Share the
You know,
freaking
you're
letter.
acting like you have to hold her at gunpoint when all Lish had to do was fucking ask.
Well, literally, it's like he's asked her now like twice for details, and she's dodged around it twice already. so-
Because it wasn't the time. She has a sense of tact. Sorry about it.
Boo, tact. Why not just
You
be
could have asked to see
nosy?
the letter.
Levy, the actual legitimately craziest person in the party, also has the most tact in the party. It's great.
It's the abused kid swag.
Well,
Listen, we love her for it.
anyways,
Yeah.
thank you for playing, guys.
As always, thank you for DMing.
Thank you for DMing.
I love this ghost and I love this house.
I love this
where
party
things are going,
too.
And I'm having
Yes,
so
this
much
is so
fun.
fun.
And you're the best.
Thinking about
Like God, I just every time we finish a session, I'm like, can we go for more? Can we do more?
Is it
Is
Saturday yet?
yet? Can we play more? I want to play more.
No break, only D&D.
Play D&D till 6 o'clock. I can play D&D till 6 o'clock, guys.
thinking about
can't,
hitting
sadly.
Howls and or Guardian games today if anyone wants to join. So, hit me
Yeah,
up.
I'm unfortunately gonna be a bit busy, but
Yeah, I got plans.
But anyway, thanks for playing, guys.
yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Yes.
See you around.
Bye bye.